Hello, College of the Desert students. Wendy Ansley here, kinesiology professor. I have a well-rounded, feel-good flow today. I started working on this flow a few weeks ago with some athletes at College of the Desert. These athletes were football players. They were in pain, and I wanted to come up with a flow to get them moving, to work on their mobility, and to make them feel better. The theme for our flow is this: be good to yourself. I wanted to share with you a quote that I found in yoga. Yoga, it's not being good at something, it's about being good to yourself. So, between the movement, the breath, and our efforts, this is an opportunity on the four corners of our mat to be good to ourselves. We're going to start lying on our backs here. Good. Let's just start reaching the arms over the head and the legs straight out. I love just to feel my spine moving in two directions here. Out the feet and out the hands. Just create length. We're going to come into a half happy baby. If I can, I'm going to keep that right leg straight. If I have a hard time with that, maybe it's a little bit bent. Half happy baby. So the left knee, I'm bending that left leg, a little dorsiflexion of both the left foot and the right foot. I'm either clasping the belly of the hamstring and drawing the knee towards the ground, towards the shoulder. Or maybe I have practiced a little bit more, flexibility is a little bit easier. So I'm going to take my left arm inside that left leg, clasp outer edge of that left foot. Same thing, I'm drawing the knee towards the shoulder here. I'm opening the hamstrings and the hips. Good. So I'm either clasping the belly of the hamstring here or interlacing that left arm. Good. And we're going to close our eyes and we're going to simply stay here 10 minutes. I mean, not 10 minutes, but 10 breaths preparing for our practice. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come a little bit deeper. Beautiful. Gently release. Draw the arms over the head and the legs straight out. I love it. We're going to gently bend the right leg, and that left leg, we're going to try to straighten it, but if we need to, slightly bend it, that's okay. We're either going to clasp the belly of the hamstring here, or we're going to draw that right arm inside that right leg and clasp the outer edge. We awaken the arches of both feet. We're thinking about drawing the knee towards the ground and the shoulder as we open those hips and we open those hamstrings. Let's close those eyes and stay here 10 breaths. Beautiful. Gently release. Draw the arms and the legs over the head. Good. Or draw the arms over the head and the legs straight out. Feel the spine lengthening. Good. Come into a lying down spinal twist here, a double knee lying down spinal twist. So we're going to bend both legs here and lightly clasp, draw the knees towards the chest, and lightly clasp around the shins here. Beautiful. This is known as a supine, so a lying down forwards fold. As we clasp around the shins, we're actually drawing length evenly in the right and the left side. Beautiful. and a double knee lying down spinal twist here. So here we are, both knees are stacked over one another. They're stacked on top of each other, feet together. Right hand is on the left knee and both knees are coming to the right here. Right hand on the left knee, and we're extending that left arm in line with the shoulder and gazing over that left shoulder. Good morning, hero. Feel that release in the upper and the middle back. Often the exhale longer than the inhale. Breathe into this little mid-thoracic twist. Gently come back center. Let's guide both knees now over to the left. Stacking the knees on top of one another, the feet on top of one another. Left hand on top of the right knee and extend that right arm. Gaze over that right shoulder and feel that mid-thoracic twist. What a beautiful way to start our practice. Come back center. Clasp around the shins. Just use the breath and breathe in evenly in the right and the left side. And think about knees coming towards the chest here, but tailbone towards the ground. And gently, we're going to rock it out. Good. Beautiful. I'm going to come to the center of my mat and mirror you here. Okay? We're going to start off with windshield wipers to promote hip mobility. So as we mirror you, we can do it together. We're going to gently bend these legs here. We're sitting through the sitting bones. Good. So my heels are kind of about, in line with my knees here. And we're going to explore a little external and internal rotation of the femur heads here. Great mobility exercise. Awesome for the pelvic hip girdle. We'll start with our hands to the ground, and we're going to drop both knees to the left and come back, really touching on body awareness. Drop both knees to the right and come back. We can keep the hands on the ground to help us. Drop both knees to the left. Come back to the right. And maybe we can get a little more advanced where we take our arms almost like cactus arms. Here we come back center. We integrate just a little bit of a body awareness, maybe a little bit of core as we drop both knees to the left. Come back center. Drop both knees to the right. Come back center. Drop both knees to the left. Come back center. Good. Drop both knees to the right. Come back center. Several more to the left. Very powerful to kind of floss this pelvic girdle. Drop both knees to the right here. Take care of ourselves here. I love it. Last one. Good. And come back center. Again, this feel-good flow, be good to yourself. It's about moving to preserve the body and taking care of the body. Let's go ahead and take a yoga strap. So if you need to pause the video and find a yoga strap, we're in this flow, we're going to use a strap, we're going to use blocks, and even go to a wall a little bit today. Good. So if you need to pause it and find your strap, go ahead, but we always generally have it on the mat as we get started. Let's start with some shoulder therapy exercises. Let's start with both legs extended, rooting through the sitting bones as we touch on our shoulder flexibility, our shoulder mobility. The strap, my strap is long enough, it's folded in half, and I'm a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. Inhale, I'm drawing my strap over the head. Good. Exhale, bringing it down. Inhale, drawing the strap over the head. Awesome. Doing this several more times. Good. Continue this just dynamic movement on this shoulder girdle here. Enjoy this movement. It feels good. Let's take the strap and hold it behind us here. Extend it. Extend those arms, right? Kind of in line with the shoulders. You can feel the shoulder scapula, those triangular bones, come towards one another. Now take the strap, touch it, and round the back. Almost draw those elbows towards one another. Good. Inhale, create length. Scapula come towards one another. Exhale, round the back. Good. Inhale, create length. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, create length. Scapula towards one another. Exhale, round that back. Shoulder blades move away from one another. Inhale, create length. Good. And let's draw the strap over the head. Come into a little lateral flexion. If you need to adjust the strap a little bit, you can. As I mirror you here, you're going to lower the strap here towards your right. And you're opening that left side body. Beautiful. Maybe gaze up a little bit at that left hand if that helps. Good. Feel that opening of the left side body. Releasing the lateral stabilizers of the spine a little bit. Moving the spine in diverse directions. Inhale, rise. Lower your left hand here and feel that release of the right side body. Maybe gaze up just a bit. Inhale, rise. Gently lower the strap. We're going to explore a shoulder therapy exercise, Gomukhasana arms. Draw your left arm as I face you here. Your left arm comes up and it externally rotates, and guide the fingertips down the spine, but press the back of the head in the upper left arm here. Maybe close those eyes as we explore this external rotation of Gomukhasana arms, and we'll stay here several breaths. Gently release. Beautiful. Take that right arm and draw the thumb towards you, and let's work on the fingertips coming up the spine, so it's an internal rotation here. We're going to close our eyes, and we're going to stay here several breaths. Gently release. Draw this right arm up. Gomukhasana arms. Guide the right fingertips down the spine here and press the head, the back of the head, in the upper right arm. It's okay to close those eyes and stay here several breaths. Breathe into the power of these postures. Breathe into shoulder therapy. Gently release. Let's take the left arm and draw the thumb towards you and guide the left arm up the spine. Good. Close those eyes and breathe into this internal rotation of this left arm. Beautiful. Gently release. What a great way to get started. Let's do 2 cleansing breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let's set our intention right now. Hands fold heart centered. Be good to yourself. Gently lower your head to your fingertips. I just want to take a moment to encourage you, to encourage yourself, to be good to yourself, to be kind to yourself. Take a moment and set your own intention for your practice today. Honoring this intention with our breath, our efforts, our energy. Gently look up. Self-love, self-care, be good to yourself. Let's try to root and rise. For some of us, we might need to use our hands and knees to help us get off the ground, but it's also good for us to kind of practice that momentum as we inhale, root and rise. A little bit of full body mobility there. Coming to our edge of the mat, we are awoken pretty well right now. We have had a great warm-up. Tadasana, either the feet are hip width apart, if that feels more comfortable, or sometimes feet together with a little space between the heels. Awaken those arches, and let's spread the pinky toe, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st toe. Lift those arches, Pada Bandha. Energy through the legs. Good. Inhale, draw those arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Gaze up and look up. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Calm the mind. Exhale, we're going to swan dive down. If we need, for beginners, gently bend the knees. That's okay. Good. Widen the feet can also help. And we're going to heel and toe. Good. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the shins or the thighs, or if we can, the ground. Wherever we are, feel that tailbone come out and back. On the exhale, we're going to frame the feet, and we're stepping back into Phalakasana plank. Good. Here we are. My shoulders are engaged. My belly button is to the spine. Good. And my heels are over the balls of the feet as I'm engaging my quadriceps. We're going to stay here several breaths. Sometimes I like to press through the pads of my fingertips. Whole body is engaged, and lightly dome those upper shoulders. Core stability. Stability in the shoulders. Gently lower to the knees. The knees are going to be hip width apart. Here we're going to explore another shoulder therapy exercise. Anahatasana. I like to tuck my toes for stability. I'm going to feel that tailbone come out and back. It almost looks like a slide. From the tailbone, I don't know, I've got a little rock under here. Good. From the tailbone coming down, good. It almost looks like a slide here. We're going to rest the forehead to the ground. Press through the palms that are shoulder width apart. Feel that tailbone come out and back. Energetically, this is shoulder therapy. We're trying to draw our chest and eventually chin to the ground. As you feel the mid-thoracic lengthening, the armpits and chest opening. We're going to stay here several breaths. Breathe into the postures. Be good to yourself. Gently come out of this pose. Find your way back to tabletop, maybe the palms a few inches in front of the shoulders. As we lead through our hips and come into our first down dog, let's do a dynamic down dog. The feet are hip width apart. We're going to heel toe it, lubricating those joints. Good, until we come into a static hold. And think, are my feet about hip width apart? Good. Press through those palms, spread those fingers, middle fingers in line with the shoulders. Good. Firm those thighs, press those thighs back and up. And breathe into any stiffness and any pain. On the transition, we're going to gaze at the hands. And sometimes I like to lead with the foot that I don't want to necessarily lead with as I transition forward. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Good. Either hands to the shins, the thighs, or the ground. Feel the tailbone come out and back. Exhale, come into our forward fold. For some of us, maybe we need to widen the feet just a bit and bend the knees. That's okay as we find this length in the hamstring. Spinal flexion, good. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up, carry that good energy up. Exhale, heart-centered. When you're good to yourself, that also helps you with your outlook in life. Inhale, draw that energy up. Energy out the fingertips. Create length in the spine. Even draw the belly button to the spine as we gaze up and look up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands, shins, thighs, ground. Good. Exhale, frame the feet. We're going to step back into our Phalakasana as we explore a little core stability drills. And this helps us on the transition. We're going to round that back as we draw the left knee to the chest and the nose. Now lower the left shin to the ground. Round that back, left knee to the chest and the nose, shin to the ground. Good. Draw the knee to the chest and the nose, shin to the ground. Knee to the chest and the nose, shin to the ground. One more. Knee to the chest and the nose, shin to the ground. Step back into Phalakasana. The whole body is engaged. Exaggerate. Draw the right knee to the chest and the nose. Round that upper back. Now lower the shin to the ground. Right knee to the chest and the nose. Lower that shin to the ground. Right knee to the chest and the nose. Lower that shin to the ground. One more. Right knee to the chest and the nose. Lower that shin to the ground. Step back into Phalakasana. Core. Good. Engage the quads. Engage the shoulders. Some of us lower the hips a little bit. Good. Gently lower to the knees. Knees are hip width apart. I like to keep those hips over the knees and tuck the toes. Walk those arms forward as we explore Anahatasana. For many of us, there's different levels in this class. For many of us, it's simply being good to ourselves and working on the forehead to the ground. For a few of us, we're going to try to get the chest and the chin to the ground. We're going to stay here a while. And then there's a few that have taken this class numerous times, and you want to explore extended puppy dog. And with that, I lift my knees and I straighten my legs. Good. So 3 levels, either forehead, chest, or chin. And some of us eventually, after practicing a while, extended puppy dog. Gently release. Puppy dog pose, also known as our heart melting pose. Hands a few inches in front of our shoulders. Transition into Adho Mukha down dog. Staying in down dog, let's draw the feet together in down dog. Push the heels a little closer to the ground. Inhale, draw that left leg to hip level. Mindfully draw the left knee, the chest, and the nose. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Hands to the hips. Let's do 1 to 2 dynamics. Good. Now let's draw that energy up. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. It's almost like you're holding a beach ball. Press through the top of the back foot. Root through the 4 corners of the front foot. Let's work on front hip back, back hip forward. Open those hips and lengthen the spine. Hands to the hips. Beautiful. Frame the foot. Find our way into our runner's pose. I love it. Transition back to down dog. Good. Breathe into the right side and the left side. Our beautiful Adho Mukha. Staying in down dog, feet come together for this transition. Heels a little bit closer. Inhale, draw that right leg up to hip level. Mindfully draw the right knee, the chest, and the nose as we round that upper back. Place the right foot next to the right hand. Just do the best that you can. Lower the back knee to the ground. Hands on the hips. That back foot is pointed straight back. A few dynamics. Let's build upon this energy together. Low lunge, draw those arms up. Front hip back, back hip forward. Release the back hip and create length in the spine. Inhale, exhale through the nose. Nice. Hands to the hips. Frame the foot, runner's pose. Good. Press those palms into the ground. Find our way back into Adho Mukha, down dog. Let's exaggerate this down dog now. Widen those heels to the edges of the mat. And I want you to feel those inner thighs spiraling back as we create length in the spine. Draw the tailbone back and down and the pubis bone back and up. Walk the hands and the feet towards one another to transition. Good. You can either do feet hip width apart or feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, tailbone out and back. Exhale, forward fold. Let's find a Padahastasana, foot to hand pose. Let's place those hands under the feet here. This is a wrist therapy exercise. And here we're going to lift up the hands here, but we're going to press the feet into the hands as we come together. Foot to hand pose, wrist therapy. So we're pressing the feet into the hands, but lifting those hands and bending those elbows. We'll stay here several breaths. Gently release. Gently bend the knees, swan, dive up. Good. Urdhva Hastasana, gaze up, look up. Be good to yourself, hands heart-centered. I love it. Here we are to the set. Let's come to the center of the mat, and I'm going to mirror you here as we do this together. Starting in the center of the mat, we'll all come with our feet together and add a little hop here. Hands by the chest, elbows up. And add a little hop here as we explore the 5-point star. Rotate those big toes in. Press through the big toes, press outer edges of the feet, awaken those intrinsic foot muscles, Pada Bandha. We're about a 1 leg length difference here. And you also feel those femur heads kind of rotating inward. I want you to draw those hands by the lower back, elbows towards one another, and broaden the collarbones as we gaze up and look up. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, come forward. Hands are under the shoulders. We've got a little concave back. As I was practicing this yesterday, it reminded me that when we press into this pose, when we come into this pose, the little triangular bone, our sacrum, we're creating space in the sacroiliac joint when we're in this posture. And that space helps with any hip and low back discomfort sometimes that we have. So continue to press outer edges of the feet and just create space in these joints. Good. As I mirror you here, you're going to walk the hands to your left. Quarter turn your left foot a little bit, left heel in. And we're exploring Skandasana as we rock forward and back. The right leg extended here, forward and back. Good. Many of us are going to keep our hands down in this progression. And now we're going to take that extended leg, press through the heel, toes up. Many of us, again, hands down. But some of us are going to work on lowering, if we can, with that ankle mobility. Maybe we practice lowering the left heel to the ground, left arm on the inside. Good, creating length. And some of us are here today, honoring where we are, being good to ourselves. Skandasana. Just to explore variations, all different levels in this class. Some of us, our hands are here, right? Hands on the ground. But some of us might grow this pose. Left arm is in front, right arm up as we explore this little spinal twist. Gazing up. Some of you might even take that right hand by that sacrum and think about coming into the spine. Honoring wherever we are, we're going to stay here several more breaths. Gently release. Hands come back center, concave back here. Good. Our little Prasarita stance, big toes rotated in. Walk the hands over to the right here as I mirror you. And we're going to adjust that right foot, quarter turn, right heel in. Here we're on the ball of that right foot and we're rocking forward and back. Forward and back. Good. Exploring ankle and hip mobility. Eventually, we turn that extended left leg, heel down, toes up. Hands we can keep on the ground, but some of us might work on lowering that right heel to the ground and the elbow on the inside. Creating length wherever we are, honoring wherever we are. Some of us might grow the pose where we extend that right arm and draw that left arm up. Take the left hand by that sacrum. And even some of us exploring the bind. So honoring, there's all different levels. Hands to the ground is great. Continue to explore the Skandasana, this longer hold. Gently release. Walk the hands back center. I love it. Concave back. So many of us will stay here and some of us will deepen this pose as maybe we walk our hands back in line with the heels and imagine pulling the head through the legs in our Prasarita stance. Sitting bones to the ceiling, create length. Gently release. Hands under the shoulders. Good. Hands on the hips. Inhale, back flat, root and rise. Heel toe it in. Proud of you guys. Cleansing breaths together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Okay, if you have blocks, we'll add a little vinyasa to the blocks. Knowing that there's different levels and some of us might just kind of hang out in one level. The blocks are about shoulder width apart, enough room for our sternum and chest to come forward in Chaturanga Dandasana or partial Chaturanga. The feet are about hip width apart, a few inches behind the blocks. Inhale, we're gonna draw those arms up. Exhale, we're gonna swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Heel of the hand is on the blocks and we find our way into down dog. Many of us are simply going to stay in down dog today here. Good. But if we have a vinyasa in our practice, the hands come to the center of the blocks. Here we are in Phalakasana plank. Some of you may lower to the knees, but if you can't, right, for a partial version. But if you can, bend those elbows, draw that sternum and the chest forward. Chaturanga Dandasana, shoulders in line with those elbows. Find our way to upward facing dog. Press through the tops of the feet. Draw the pelvis forward. Gaze up, look up. Broaden those collarbones. Exhale, come over the tops of the feet. Adho Mukha down dog. Good. Stay here several breaths. As you press into this down dog, think about the tailbone coming back and down and the pubis bone back and up. On the transition, we're going to walk it forward. We're going to press the right hand into the ground or the block, bend that right leg, and let's draw that left arm either on the hip or draw it up as we explore this little spinal twist. Be good to yourself. Shoulder over the shoulder, drawing the heart towards the sky. Gently release. Let's bend this left leg, press that left hand into the block, and either draw that right arm to the hip or draw that right arm up. Find our little spinal twist. Gently release. Our little forward fold. Gently bend the knees, swan dive up. Exhale, heart-centered. I love it. Gently release those blocks. Okay, we're going to explore here now. We're going to explore a little more movement. We're going to come to the back edge of our mat here. Feet are hip width apart, maybe an inch or so wider. Awaken those arches, spread those toes. Inhale, draw those arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, we're gonna swan dive down into our down dog. We're gonna walk those hands out, beautiful. Find our down dog. Mindfully, we're gonna transition to a lunge, a runner's pose here. We're gonna draw the left knee, the chest and the nose as we round that back. Place the left foot next to the left hand. Here we are in our runner's pose. Back leg is straight and engaged. Sometimes I rock forward and back a little bit on that back foot just to work on our toe mobility. Good. Right hand is under the shoulder. I'm on my right fingertips. I want us to quarter turn that right foot, come to the pinky toe side. We can keep the left hand of the hip for stability, or we can extend that left arm up, shoulder over the shoulder. So now we have a mid-thoracic twist, as well as that right hip rotating inward. We'll stay here several breaths. Gently lower the back knee. Clasp outer edge of this back foot. Good. And for some of us, we're not able to do that, but we're just talking to our body while we're doing that. Good. Building in that body and mind awareness. But if we can clasp outer edge, draw it closer towards the buttock. And when you do that, feel that release of the right quadriceps. Stay here several breaths. Gently release, frame the foot. Come onto the ball of the back foot, engage the core as we find ourselves in a runner's pose. Press into those hands, mindfully find our way back to down dog. Draw the right knee to the chest and the nose. Place that right foot next to the right hand. Here we are, runner's pose. Maybe rock forward and back. Good. Left hand is under the left shoulder. Maybe draw that right hand to the hip. Quarter turn, come to that pinky toe side, I want to say, of that back foot. So we internally rotate the hip and draw that right arm up if you can. Mid-thoracic twist and really come to that pinky toe side so that left hip is rotating inward, internally. Stay here several breaths. Gently lower the back knee. Good. Clasp outer edge of that back foot. Build upon that. Build upon that connection. Until eventually, can we get the heel closer to the buttock, left buttock, as we feel that release of the left hip flexors? Gently release. We find our way into our runner's pose. Frame the foot. Lift that back leg. Good. Press into the ground as we frame the foot. Find our way back into Adho Mukha down dog. Tailbone back and down. Pubis bone back and up. Let's walk the hands back. Good. Into a forward fold. Gently bend the knees. Swan dive up. Open the chest and the heart. Beautiful. We're going to adjust here now. We're going to take the yoga mats to the wall. And I'm going to just adjust this so you can see a little bit clearer as the sun is shining through. I just want to make sure that you can see here. Good. So the yoga mats are coming to the wall here. And we're going to build upon this standing back bend. I love this. This is awesome. And the other day, these athletes I was working with really appreciated this. So we are at a soft arm distance from the wall. The wall is that leverage back bend. We're going to push against the wall to open our chest and the heart. And if we're nervous, we can even start a little bit closer. We just want to move the spine in another direction and promote spinal health, okay? The feet are hip width apart or even wider, an inch or two wider. I want you to almost rotate those big toes in slightly. That creates length, okay? So the feet are parallel, rotate those big toes in. We want to naturally externally rotate with the heels in, but that actually causes problems to the spine. So feet are an inch or two wider than hip width apart. Rotate those big toes in. We have the wall behind us. We're going to start where we inhale, we draw those arms up. We look up at the hands. We lead with the hands and the head, and we push into the wall, and we're opening the chest and the heart. We'll stay here several breaths. Come back up. Good. Neck and head last. Beautiful. So how we transition in and out of this posture mindfully is very important. Let's do this again. Inhale, draw those arms up, maybe gaze up. And lead with the hands and the head and the upper and middle back here as we push into the wall, opening the chest, opening the heart. Stay here several breaths. And rise, neck and head last. Good. Perhaps you want to walk those hands back another inch or two, or maybe even come forward a tiny bit on the mats, wherever you are. We're going to do this several more times. Inhale, draw those arms up. On the exhale, lead with those hands and the head, press into the wall, open the chest and the heart. Eventually, maybe walk those hands back a little bit farther and continue to now press those hips forward. Come back up. Neck and head last. Honor yourself, honor your safety wherever you are, just do you. Let's practice one more. You can go your own space, your own time. Draw those arms up. Lead with the hands and the head. Push against the wall. Possibly lower the hands if you feel it. Continue to open the chest and the heart. Hips come forward. Walk the hands back up. Neck and head last. Hands heart centered. Let's posteriorly tilt our pelvis a little bit and neutralize the spine. So the feet are about hip width apart. I want you to draw those arms up. Tuck that tailbone just a bit, but draw length in the spine. So we're posteriorly tilting that spine, drawing that tailbone in, and lengthening the spine just to neutralize after those back bends. Hands heart centered. Let's come to the wall. My students really love this wall. And the athletes I worked with the other day really appreciated it. So the hips are like our steering wheel of our body almost, and for the spine. And with these postures, we're gonna line our hips a little bit. Pigeon on the wall. Left foot, we're bending the left leg. Knee is in line with the ankle. My hip is directly under the left knee. I'm gonna lightly dorsiflex, awaken that right foot and place it outside of the left knee, and just doing the best that we can. Some of you are gonna clasp the belly of the hamstrings and energetically draw the knee towards the wall. I like to place my hands here and help guide energetically that right knee towards the wall, releasing that outer hip. I'm going to stay here several breaths. Feel the hips almost aligning. That energetic release of the outer right hip. Exhale longer than the inhale. Gently release. Keep that right leg bent. Lightly awaken that left foot. Place that left foot on top of the right knee. And energetically work on drawing the left knee towards the wall. Close those eyes. Be good to yourself. Feel the left knee come closer to the wall. And even the alignment sometimes of the hips. Kind of adjust. Kind of come into alignment. Breathe into the power of this posture. Gently release frog pose, Mandukasana on the wall. So now here we are. We're turning these legs out. Hips are in line with my knees. Ankles are directly under my knees. My heels are in and my toes are out. In this pose, good. Really getting the hips in line with the knees helps tremendously, and the ankle under the knees. I like to kind of rest my hands on top of the knees here and think about the tailbone kind of coming towards the wall and the hips opening. This is a very deep stretch, huge for alignment, very, very deep release for the hips here, the whole pelvic hip girdle. And we're gonna stay here a while. Exhale longer than the inhale. Being good to yourself. This posture really represents being good to yourself. Gently release coming out of this pose. And mindfully, we're going to explore legs up on the wall, guys. Here we are. We're going to approach it to the side, Viparita Karani. Legs up on the wall, active reversal pose. Be good to yourself. So we're going to enter this to the side. Trying to get closer to the wall. You also feel almost the hamstrings kind of stretching a little bit. Trying to get close to the wall or as close as you can. If you need to back up from the wall a foot or two just to help you, that is okay. Here we are, legs up on the wall. I want you to relax the head, relax the arms, almost kind of broaden the collarbones, let everything go, and feel the many benefits of this active reversal pose for circulation of the blood, almost to balance the hormones, to promote regeneration. It's a form of just letting go and relaxing, but yet there are so many benefits of Viparita Karani, legs on the wall. And I'm going to invite you to hold this pose, stay here for 5 minutes or so. Remembering it's not about being good at something in yoga, it's about being good to yourself. And sometimes flows represent that. The birds are singing. Time to regenerate your light and share your light, which is the true meaning of namaste. I want you and invite you to stay here as long as you need.